Hello, Jasminka.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to interview you. You have been General Editor of the European Psychoanalytic Federation now for 4 years. You're going to hand over your mandate at this conference in Florence.
Yes.
The first question I want to ask you is, how did you become so involved in the EPF? What led you to take on this post? What came before?
Yes, thank you for that question. It was more than 10 years ago when I started to be president of my society, Psychoanalytical Society of Serbia, from 2012 to 2018. And it was a period of my huge learning about the history of the EPF, about organizational and institutional matters, many new projects and ideas. Then I joined EPCUS team organizing European Psychoanalytical Conference for university students.
Yes.
Over 7 following years. And it was special experience, meeting young people so interested in psychoanalysis with many interesting questions and also with a lot of enthusiasm. And at the end of the conference, we have a panel concerning training for those who are interested or who will be interested in training. And always their responses are very inspiring for us to continue preparing it. And my engagement in EPCUS lasted 7 years, full 7 years with my colleagues.
And then, and there was also the Institutional Matters Forum,
yes.
which you set up, I think.
Yes, exactly. At similar same time, I initiated and chaired at that time EPF ad hoc group about institutional matters, and now it is Institutional Matters Forum. We started that with aim to explore group dynamics, different organizational issues in our society for which we know how important and how difficult could be. And currently now we are in preparation of a book which should appear at the beginning of next year, published by Routledge.
Yeah, this is an important topic. There's so many societies who encounter internal difficulties related to group dynamics, as you say, and it's really something very important to understand and to work together on understanding.
Exactly.
It's part of the scientific work of the EPF to help each other to look into that.
It was a surprise for me when I started to be engaged in institutional matters, first as president and later in many other ways. It was surprising how many problems we faced about our institutions, and I wanted to explore and to learn with my colleagues about that.
And so then you accepted the post of General Editor.
Yes, exactly.
And in continuity, then in these involvements. And we've already talked with Herbert and Andrea about the challenges you had to face because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Exactly.
And so there you had to be involved with the others in setting up online activities. And the first online seminars were about the bulletin, no? There were seminars. Because you couldn't have the next conference, you had to find other solutions. So tell us about that.
Yes, it was exactly in that way, all that. It was a really disastrous beginning for us, as you have already heard from our colleagues. And we had to cancel a conference in Vienna, planned to be organized in March that year, and it was very disturbing for all of us. For me, it was a question about content of new bulletin, since contemporary concept of the bulletin consisted of papers presented at the main conference, and main conference was cancelled that year. And then I got the idea to use a huge treasury of previous bulletins from 72 onwards, and to select those who could refer in one way or another to the situations we were facing at that moment. And I select those papers, and then I asked every author able to respond for a short retrospective how they saw their text written sometimes decades before. You know that you were in that project, in that group, and from those texts and reflections we formed Bulletin 74. And from that idea appeared about organizing EPF scientific online seminars. First one was in December 2020. It was first in the online seminar in the history of the EPF, and also next three was devoted to the bulletin, consisted of dialogues between the authors whose texts have been chosen for that bulletin. And it was very, very interesting, and I think very important at that time for all of our colleagues.
And then you had the anniversary of the bulletin.
Yes.
In 2022.
Yes.
That was another.
Yes, another project and event. Yes, it was. Now it was bulletin issue 76. It was our anniversary bulletin, and we celebrated 50 years of the bulletin 2 years ago. Yeah. You may know, I would like that to say that our bulletin was founded by Peter Hildebrand. He was first general editor and previous vice president of the EPF. And he started to edit our bulletin, officially called Psychoanalysis in Europe.
Yes.
And first issues consisted of 16 pages. It was produced on typewriter and then photocopied. Yellow pages was added, and then all of this was stapled together. And it was very, very interesting to imagine how it looks like. And after that, from then onwards, the bulletin changed its looks, and concept of content was also changing. The number of pages increasing from 16 to almost 300. And but what is important and what stays the same, as I could say, is that the bulletin journal Psychoanalysis in Europe represent a testimony of the history of psychoanalysis in Europe, both describing that history and contributing to it. It is important. And also on occasion of anniversary, we, previous general editors and me, we prepared short presentation about our mandates and what we have done during our mandates. And that presentation was published in that anniversary issue. And also just one more thing to mention, a small project called Journals of the EPF Societies. We invited all societies to send us photos and to write to us about their own journals of their society, and it was published on our website, and together with all 77 issues of Bulletin.
And then talking about the website, there's this is the other huge project, is renewing the website. The old technology had become obsolete, and so you had to redo the whole thing.
Yes, exactly. When I started my mandate, it was also surprising for me to discover our website was 15 years old, created in 2005. And to put it into the perspective, the Facebook hadn't even existed at that time, and the iPhone was released 2 years later. And even though our website was freshened up in 2014, it kept the same operational data. So technical confirmation arrived that our website had become outdated and that it would be very difficult to maintain it in the future. So we had to start considering building a new website, and it was a big project, as you said, ahead of us. But with the support of entire executive, I formed a website team. Andrea Gadini is also a member of that team. Then I also prepared and sent to all the societies surveys about their experiences with previous website and expectation from the new one. Then formed also the team network of web representatives from every society. And finally, we found a provider, a technical developer of our future website.
Did you introduce new functionalities for the website, new possibilities?
Yes, there are many improvements. First, our work lasted almost 2 years because we wanted to. First, our website is very complex and with rich structure and with many different texts, images, records, links, with over 2,000 listed content and items of listed content, and we wanted to preserve such a wealth of material and to enable greater access. And it included a lot of careful work and lasted almost 2 years. And many improvements we introduced in our website. I could mention several of them.
For example?
Yes. For example, what is the main addition, I would say, besides technical, visual improvements, then many greater accessibility of content, then many content changes and so on. I would say that main addition is a section societies. It is sections devoted to every society of the EPF for their data about their history, number of members and candidates, training model, new projects, ideas, logo, and so on, links, and so on. So, because our overall aim was to enhance two-way communication between EPF and constituent societies. And for website, it was our aim. I think it is fulfilled, that in some extent for our website to become place for scientific exchanges of different ideas, projects, information, and so on for all EPF societies.
Yes, and then also as a way of making it easier to get to know each other.
Yes,
if we can look up
exactly.
how other societies do things.
Yes, and communicate to establish
Yes.
the connections, and we hope that it will help communications between different societies, and also they are knowing each other better.
And so in all this, there's another thing you did which seems minor but seems to have taken a lot of work, is the logo. Is to,
the logo, yes.
To reconstruct the original logo with the right colors.
Yes, good that you remember. Yes, because it is a very small project. It is not such a huge project like EPF website which lasted 2 years or anniversary. But it is small project, but I like it because I initiated investigation of the EPF logo. And I have several, when it is created and by whom it was, there were my questions. And after several, I had several misleading parts. And after those misleading parts, with the help of previous general editor, Gabriela Junkers, we established that the EPF logo was created during her mandate. And because of that, she helped me about that, and created by professor of design from Bremen, Hartmut Bruckner, in 1996. And then we contacted his studio and received original logo, exact values of 3 colors, because we were not sure which nuances of color it is for English, for French. We now received original values of those colors.
So that way you can get it exactly right on the website.
Yes, exactly. It is coincidence and conversion of many threads of our work. And also we received the original font family.
Okay.
And from Bulletin 76, cover pages were adjusted according to those standards from our anniversary issue onwards.
And so now there's the next project is the archives.
Oh yes, because during the building of our website, with the question of storing past data, for me it became surprisingly clear that it is clear and somehow strange that EPF does not have its archive either in paper or digital. We had archive room at our house in Brussels, but we don't have officially established archive. And after our initial investigation about that topic, it was shown that there were several attempts of establishing of the EPF archive from 86 onwards, but unfortunately with interruptions and without much progress. So at the council meeting in November last year, we reached a general agreement that the EPF archive should be, it is necessary to be established, and archive team, and I'm the chair of that team because I initiated all those things, and we have also professional archivists and several colleagues, and we will continue to work on it. It is another new and big important project, and I'm happy to continue working for the EPF on this important realm.
So you've been incredibly active, and you're going to continue to be active,
Of
obviously. What has it been like for you personally, and for you as a psychoanalyst? As the last question,
Yes.
What have you learned? What effect has it had on you?
Yes, it is a big question which I should maybe reflect more after my mandate, afterwards. All this. I think that next period will be devoted to reflection about all this. But I could now tell you several things. One is a huge possibility of international connections. It is very important for me because the position of general editor is a very active one, with many emails during the day, with many professionals and colleagues, and sometimes it is too much, but also it is interesting to know work of many colleagues and professionals and cooperated all those projects, and it was one. And that second was a kind of investigation about many things, about history of the EPF, about particular segments of its history. Also, it was great for me. Great thing, to possibility to work and to improve things. And yes.
Well, thank you very much for all that work, and
thank you.
And thank you for the interview.
Thank you for so good preparations and for excellent questions you have.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.